Hello everybody, welcome to Notorious Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm Notorious Cly, and today we are armed and dangerous. Okay, now that cringy ass joke is out of the way, I'm gonna put my sweatshirt on, get comfy, and we can get on with our Armed Dragon Thunder deck profile. As you all can probably tell, I'm incredibly excited that Armed Dragon Thunders are finally here. Excited for lots of reasons. One, the art is fantastic. I mean, look at these dudes. Tell me these dudes don't look badass. Next up is nostalgia. These are the retrains of the old Armed Dragon monsters. You know, the Chaz monsters, the old level up mechanic monsters, that failed mechanic. And the playstyle is also something that I can appreciate. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to pick up on, and it's a very aggressive aggro OTK style of archetype deck, which is something that kind of speaks to my heart. Nothing makes me happier than putting up big numbers and smashing my opponent for a bunch of damage. I actually love these cards so much that I have them in paper. I haven't been bold enough to take them to locals, but if somebody ever wants to play friendlies, I'll play Armed Dragon Thunder. Just hit me up. We should probably do a brief overview of the Armed Dragon Thunders before we go into like a card by card for the deck profile that I have for you. I know I'm only showing 17 cards. We'll get to the reason why I'm showing that in a little bit. Matter of fact, we can just spoil it now. I'm only showing the 17 cards because this is what I think your core of your deck should look like, and then the last 3 to maybe like 6 spots should probably be just flex spots, which are, you know, fill it with the staples that you think are the best fit for the deck, the best fit for your card pool, and the best fit for the meta. So the Armed Dragon Thunders, as I mentioned earlier, are retrains of the old Armed Dragon monsters, which are part of the level mechanic. And I think Armed Dragon Thunder does a very novel and very good job of bringing that level mechanic up to modern speed and kind of fixing it in a way. So we have 2 different types of the Armed Dragon Thunders, at least in my opinion. We have the babies, which I considered Armed Dragon Thunder level 3, level 5, level 7, and then we have the big boy, which is Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. So the babies, so 7, 5, and 3, or 3, 5, and 7, however you want to word it, all share some common themes or common effects. So while they are on the field, you can send a monster from your hand to the graveyard as cost, and then the effect is to send that monster to the graveyard, and then special summon from your hand or deck the next level up. So if you have 3 on the field, you pitch a monster from your hand to the graveyard, then you send level 3 to the graveyard and special summon level 5, and then 5 does the same thing. You pitch a monster from your hand, send level 5 to the graveyard, special summon level 7. Level 7 to pitches the card from hand, and then level 7 goes to the graveyard, and then you get to 10. Now you may be thinking, wow, that's a really resource intense way of getting all the way to Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. How are you ever going to manage to get all the resources to do that? And I've got good news for you. Konami thought of that when they designed these cards. So each one of the babies, so 3, 5, and 7, has a bonus effect when they are sent to the graveyard as part of the cost to activate a Dragon Monster's effect. I believe the exact wording is that this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a Dragon Monster's effect, which means it's sent there as part of the cost. You can do Thing. So level 3 lets you draw a card. Level 5 lets you add a level 5 or higher wind monster. Level 7 lets you add an Armed Dragon card, could be a spell or trap, and that completes the loop. Each one of these gets you a resource to help you get to the next one and keep going until you get all the way to level 10. And then level 10 is the big boss of the deck. It's the win condition for you. So level 10 has a couple different things to talk about, and let's go over them now. If this card is special summoned by the effect of an Armed Dragon monster, it gains the following effects based on its attack. So that basically just means if it was summoned off level 7, that's the most common way you're going to be summoning level 10. So if its attack is 1 or more, its name becomes Armed Dragon level 10. It takes the name of the old card that it was supposed to retrain. If it has 10 or more attack, control of it cannot switch. So you're protected against Econ, Brain Con, Mind Control, all that kind of stuff. Change your heart when that eventually arrives in Duel Links. If it has 100 or more attack, cannot be destroyed by a battle. Pretty cool, a little bit of protection there. And if it has 1,000 or more attack, this is the most important effect. And before we get into that, it gains all of these effects based on its attack. So at baseline, it will have all 4 of these first effects. It'll have the name become level 10, cannot switch, cannot be destroyed by battle, and this next effect. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can discard 1 card and then target 1 other card on the field, destroy it. So you get a quick effect pop for the low cost of a discard. And then its last effect is a pipe dream, you're never going to get this thing into 10,000 or more attack. But if it does have 10,000 or more attack, once per turn, you can destroy all other cards on the field. If you get Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 to 10,000 attack, you should have won the duel by now. You're just trolling your opponent. So don't be mean. Just finish the duel before you get him all the way up there. And I think that's a pretty good job of talking about the Armed Dragon Thunders. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You just go 3 to 5 to 7 to 10, use 10 to quick effect pop, gain 1,000 attack, puts it at 4,000 attack, and that is enough for an OTK in Duel Links. So it's pretty easy to see your win condition and your line of play and your path to victory with this deck. So let's talk a little bit about the rest of the cards I have in the core and maybe the skill, and then see how they all come together and how they should all work together. So we've already covered level 10, 7, 5, 3. We should probably cover Armed Dragon Flash next. So Armed Dragon Flash is basically an E-tally for the deck, a quick launch for the deck. You get to special summon one level 3 Armed Dragon monster from your deck in defense position. You can only activate one Armed Dragon Flash once per turn. So, and it's also a quick effect, so keeping the E-tally quick launch kind of theming to it. You're almost always going to be getting Armed Dragon Thunder level 3. Like 99.9% of the time, you're going to be getting Armed Dragon Thunder level 3. You'll notice we're not playing Armed Dragon level 3, the original. This card can technically summon the original level 3. Our skill will be adding that to our deck for us, so there may be a niche case scenario where you're using Armed Dragon Flash to get the OG level 3, but for the most part, you're always going to be getting Armed Dragon Thunder level 3 to help start your plays. And then our next spell is Armed Dragon Lightning, which is a cool piece. So if an Armed Dragon monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. That's a fantastic effect alone because it helps protect our Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. Armed Dragon Thunder level 10, control of it can't switch, can't be destroyed by battle. And if you have Armed Dragon Lightning, it is immune from one destruction effect, which makes it a little sticky, which is good because this deck is going to struggle a little bit going first. If I haven't mentioned it already, your goal for this deck going first is to just survive. It's just to get to another turn so you can OTK your opponent. But there's some more bonus effects on Armed Dragon Lightning. So you can target one Armed Dragon monster you control, then activate one of these effects. So you can have it gain attack equal to its level time 100. Even if Armed Dragon Lightning were to leave the field, it keeps the attack boost. Or you can add one Armed Dragon monster with an equal or lower level than it from your graveyard to your hand. So just a great way to get resources back. We should probably talk a minute about ratios for all the Armed Dragon Thunders. I'm playing 2 of the Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 just because it's a win condition, it's a boss monster for this deck. I want to make sure I have a backup. I don't want my Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 to be outed, me somehow survive a turn, and then lose because I don't really have anything to do. You could probably get away with playing 1. It's something that's going to need a little bit more testing by me, by the community, by the 6 Armed Dragon Thunder players out there. 2 of the level 7 just because it can be a little bricky if it's the only Armed Dragon Thunder in your hand, and you're almost never going to be tribute summoning the 7-star monster. 3 copies of Armed Dragon Thunder level 5 because it's not a terrible one to have. There are some scenarios where you may want to Armed Dragon Flash, special summon an Armed Dragon Thunder level 3, and then just tribute summon for the Armed Dragon Thunder level 5 to skip a step in the level up, I'm sorry. And by skipping that step, you may conserve a little bit of resources. And then we're playing 3 of the Armed Dragon Thunder level 3, obviously because it's the thing that gets this all started. It's where you are most logically going to start all of your leveling up in your plays. I'm playing 2 of the Flash because I think 5 copies of Armed Dragon Thunder level 3 is good enough, especially when you include the skill. I don't remember the name of the skill. I'm sure I'll bring it up when I talk a little more in depth about the skill. But skill lets you add an Armed Dragon level monster. You're going to be adding level 3 pretty frequently with it. If you're trying to play this deck on a budget, I know Armed Dragon Thunder level 3 is a UR. At least I believe it's a UR. And if you wanted to play 3 Flash and then 2 of the level 3, I think that's perfectly fine. That is 100% okay. And then I'm only playing 1 copy of the Armed Dragon Lightning because if I open it, I'm kind of happy. And I can always search it out with Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. Just a reminder, Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 can search an Armed Dragon card. So it can search the other Armed Dragon monster you need to pitch so you can rank up into 10. Level up into 10. I'm just going to constantly say rank up and you guys are just going to have to deal with it to level up into other 10, or you can search Flash or Lightning. There are some other Armed Dragon Thunder cards you may want to consider playing. One of them is Armed Dragon Blitz. I don't like this one because you have to target one armed dragon monster you control, and then take one monster with the same name from your deck or the graveyard and add it to your hand or special summon it. That sounds crazy, but one thing I forgot to mention with all of the armed dragon thunders is they become armed dragon level whatever they are while they are on the field. This means while they are on the field, then you use the armed dragon blitz, and then you target the armed dragon thunder you have on the field. It's an armed dragon now, so you can only ever special summon the OGs from your deck. You could probably play this as maybe a one-of, because the skill is going to be adding the OGs to your deck, but I don't think it's worth an inclusion. You ideally don't want to be using the OGs for anything other than graveyard setup via skill. There's some other things that this card does, but the main reason why I had it here is just so I could remind you and myself about the condition on all these cards is they become the OG name while they are on the field. The other Armed Dragon Thunder spell trap that's in the game, and I think the only other one that exists, is Armed Dragon Thunderbolt. This one isn't something you should play because it stops your opponent from taking battle damage, and you want to super aggro OTK your opponent. Not taking battle damage doesn't help you with that goal, so I would not recommend playing either of these two. And that's pretty much it. So let's talk about the rest of the cards in the list, and then talk about why they're there, why we have the ratios for them, and then what you can fill out the rest of your deck with. Sorry everybody, I'm going to do a quick wardrobe change. It's getting a little too hot in the hoodie. All this heat, I don't know, that same cringy joke over again. I don't know why I'm recycling it. Let's just talk about the last couple cards in the core of our deck list, and then we'll move on to other cards you can fill out your deck with. Then maybe some future support that could help, and then I think it's necessary we talk about the skill. So first up is Armed Dragon level 10 white. This is an Armed Dragon card, so it is searchable by Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. And it's mostly just a tool for you to go super aggro, put another big body on board, and push for game. So it can't be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by its own effect, and the effect to special summon it requires you to banish Armed Dragon monsters from your field and or graveyard whose total levels equal 10. And then when it's special summoned, you can add White Veil from your deck to your hand, which is something that you will have in your deck via skill. We'll talk about the skill momentarily, just bear with me. And then at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks, you can destroy one card on the field. So just another big body, 3k beater, destroys the card when it attacks. And, you know, just helps you push for game. That's really it. There's really not too much to talk about. Our next card is Dark Armed Dragon. Dad's back, everybody. He brought the milk. Maybe that's what Armed Dragon level 10 white is. Maybe it's the milk. And this is going down a path that I don't want to follow. So let's just talk about Dad, Dark Armed Dragon, the icon itself. So Dark Armed Dragon cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by having exactly three dark monsters in your graveyard. And then while it's on the field, you can banish one dark monster from your graveyard, then target one card on the field, destroy it. Not a once per turn on the destroy. So at the time of summoning Dark Armed Dragon, you will have 3 pops, which is enough to clear a board in Duel Links. And then you may be wondering, how exactly are you going to get dark monsters in the graveyard when you're not playing any dark monsters in your main deck? Well, the good news is, everybody, we have a busted skill for Armed Dragon Thunder. Konami blessed us 6 Armed Dragon Thunder players with the skill that is absolutely bonkers. And worth mentioning, Dark Armed Dragon is an Armed Dragon card, which means you can search it via Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. This may be a reason to play more Armed Dragon Thunder level 7, and if I was going to play another Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 to ensure that I could be pitching it from my hand to activate a Dragon Monster's effect, I would probably end up cutting the Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. The only reason why I'd be nervous about that is Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 is so important to get to, and I don't want to have to accidentally pitch it to try and attempt to rank up into it. We're getting too far in the weeds. Dark Armed Dragon's existence and playability in this list may warrant more level 7s being played. That's something I'll have to playtest if I do decide to invest in Armed Dragon Thunder. I'm really thinking about it, but I kind of need to be convinced. So I think this is a good time to pivot over and talk about our skill, since we just talked about 2 cards that are going to be almost completely set up by the skill. Our skill is Armed Crossover, and this is a custom skill if I've ever read one. This is busted as can be. So, Armed Crossover. You can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, then add one level monster from your deck to your hand. So, there's your consistent way to be adding the level 3 to start your play, or the other levels to keep your play rolling. But wait, there's more. Then, add 4 different Armed Dragon monsters and 1 White Veil to your deck from outside of your deck, which means you get all the OGs in rotation, which could warrant you playing Blitz. I don't think you should, but it could. And then the White Veil for the level 10 white to be searching. I don't think you should ever be using the White Veil unless you're in dire circumstances, just because it's a big blow up, kill me, burn me for 3,000 button, but that's conversation for another time. And then after doing so, send up to 2 monsters from your hand or deck to the graveyard with a combined level of 10, and select up to 3 monsters from your graveyard. As long as the selected monsters remain in the graveyard, they will be dark and cannot be used for fusion material. So they give you combined level of 10 sent to the graveyard, which means white is live the moment it's in your hand. And then Dark Armed Dragon is also live because you have 3 darks in your hand. And Konami did even a great job of trying to balance this skill. Why this skill out of all other skills, I have no idea. By making it Necrofusion Dragon's Mirror proof, locking you out of using the skills set up darks for something like a Warlord Furious Dragon. And then the skill has a few restrictions. The skill can only be used once per duel if you begin the duel with a deck, excluding extra deck, that contains 10 or more wind armed dragon monsters, and no monsters other than armed dragon monsters or normal monsters. So basically you're locked into playing armed dragon pure if you're going to be playing this list, which isn't a big deal because that's something I would want to do. If I'm interested in playing armed dragon thunder, I want to be playing armed dragon thunder, you know? So that's the skill. Completely busted, completely custom tailored to make Armed Dragon playable, and I love that Dark Armed Dragon is going to get its moment to shine by having a skill set up everything it needs for it. So that's the Armed Dragon Thunders. That's the Armed Dragon Thunder core, I suppose. Let's talk about the rest of the cards that you can be adding to your deck. I currently have my list at 70 cards, which means in an ideal world I would have maybe like 3 to 5 flex spots. I'd probably want to keep it anywhere from 20 cards to maybe like 24 cards at the most, but 22 is probably the sweet spot. Obvious inclusion to me at this current moment is something like Forbidden Lance, for a couple reasons. If we're an aggro OTK deck, we don't want to be dealing with back row. We want to be protected from back row. Also, if we're going to be investing a lot of our resources into a single monster that we need to ensure stays on the board so we have a fighting chance, we're going to want it to protect it from back row. And a set Cosmic Cyclone doesn't help you against your opponent's Forbidden Chalice or Book of Moon, but a set Forbidden Lance does. If you want to play Cosmic Cyclone in your list instead of Forbidden Lance, that's probably fine. That's a personal choice. Or if you don't have Forbidden Lance, I wouldn't recommend you run out and get Forbidden Lance just for this list. You'll probably be fine with Cosmic Cyclone. But if you do have both, I would probably favor Forbidden Lance. You could even do something like play a 2-1 split of these cards. Another thing I would strongly recommend is playing something like Book of Moon, just a generically powerful going first and going second tool. Good if you set it, helps add another point of interaction, a little more disruptiveness to your turn 1 board other than just Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 pass. And not bad going second either, because you can flip your opponent's problematic monsters down, play, and then remove them with your big bad boys. Other cards you could consider playing instead of Book of Moon are probably Forbidden Chalice, maybe Kaijus. I like the versatility of Book of Moon, and when you consider the meta we may be coming up into, which is like a Speedroid dominated meta, Book of Moon is strictly better than Chalice because Book of Moon will flip their tuner or non-tuner face down, locking them out of synchro summoning, where Forbidden Chalice doesn't have that benefit. Unfortunately, due to the existence of Dark Armed Dragon, and the Dark Armed Dragon being a limit 3, this list is locked out of playing your limit 3, your power 3 staples. So stuff like Book Moon or Chalice or whatever else you have laying around is going to have to make do. And that's really about it for other stuff I would consider playing. There probably exists a bigger, more elaborate build of this deck, but I am not inventive enough or creative enough at the current moment to figure it out. I'm just excited to be trying to play Armed Dragon Thunder. Now that we've talked about all that stuff, let's maybe talk about future support, then properly set expectations again, and get on out of here. So future support that could come specifically for Armed Dragon Thunder. There's lots of just generically good dragon cards that could come, but I'm not going to count those because those help all dragon decks. I'm more concerned about the stuff specifically that we should be looking for just for Armed Dragon Thunder. The first support card is Pile Armed Dragon. This is an armed dragon, so it is searchable via level 7, and its effect is kind of nutty. You can send one other Wind Dragon monster or one other level 7 or higher dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon this card, so basically a free special summon. And you can send one armed dragon monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, except Pile Armed Dragon. Then target one face-up monster you control. That target monster gains attack equal to the level of the monster sent to the graveyard times 300 until the end of its turn. Also, you can only attack with one monster this turn. So basically, just allows you to Foolish Burial something from deck, more graveyard setup, maybe encourages you to play Blitz, and also helps things get incredibly big, so you can just punch your opponent in the face for a bunch of damage, and OTK really easy. Free special summon of a level 7 is great. If this does come to Duel Links, I think it's perfectly fine to come to Duel Links. It may help this deck get into more extra deck plays, more of its rank 7 plays. The next card is not an Armed Dragon, but it is searchable via Armed Dragon Thunder level 5 because it is a level 5 or higher Wind Dragon monster. It is Heavenly Zephyr Miradora. This is a hand trap, and one I think is maybe situational enough to see inclusion in Duel Links without breaking the format. If your opponent special summons a monster with 2000 or more attack from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up opponent's monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Neither player can activate that monster's effect while this monster is face-up on the field. So it's like a very situational kind of Ghost Mourner and Moonlight Chill or like Effect Failure. So something that would no doubt see play in Duel Links because off-turn monster interaction from hand is kind of nutty. But I think it's situational enough that it wouldn't break the format, especially if they introduced it as like a limit 3. You had a choice between playing IDP or playing Miradora. So, something cool. And that's really about it for the specific support to Armed Dragon Thunder. And with that, I think we need to set expectations. I think I've done a pretty good job with it over this video. This deck is going to be good at what it does, but I'm unsure of how good the thing it does is in the context of Duel Links. I definitely think it's King of Games worthy. I think the ability to set up something on turn 1 can carry you to enough victories, and I think its ability to play going second with a skill that does everything it possibly can to set up Dark Arctic Dragon is going to be pretty good. I think with enough persistence and enough patience, you can get there. It may not be the easiest climb, but I definitely think it'll be a fun one. At least I know it would be for me if I do decide to go ahead and put Resonators off to the side to play Armed Dragon Thunder. Again, just to properly set expectations, this deck isn't going to be meta defining, probably isn't even going to be a meta contender, but I definitely think it's going to be good enough to win more than you lose and have fun while you're doing it, which is the most important thing I think at the end of the day. And with all that being said, I think it's time to wrap up the video. Thank you everybody for watching. This is the first deck profile I've been excited to do in a very long while, and hopefully all of you are excited to watch it. Sorry, content has been a little dry on the channel lately. Again, still adjusting to the new schedule, trying to figure it out. But for now, I'm here with all of you, and I can't express to you how much that means to me. If you enjoyed this video and you want to find some way to express that to me, like, comment, subscribe. Easiest way to do it. And I promise I'll have more content coming for you. If you want to see more deck profiles, please let me know, and then let me know specifically what deck profile so I can hone in and focus on it and make that video happen. I think that's all I got to say, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Be safe, have fun.